To understand what are the steps involved in doing an SIR, let's take the case of 17-year-old Geetha. She was forced to marry 28-year-old Gopi after her father lost his job during COVID and her mother became bedridden. Gopi subjected Geetha to multiple forms of abuse. Geetha was 9 weeks pregnant when she contacted Childline and was rescued and produced before the CWC. The CWC placed Geetha in a CCI and directed the DCPU social worker to prepare an SIR and submit it within 15 days. The SIR seeks the child's personal details, information about her family, previous history of institutionalization, social habits, educational and employment status, health and medical history, circumstances leading to the case, observations and analysis, and recommendations. Each of these components plays a crucial role in helping the CWC make informed decisions supported with facts or even documentary evidence which prioritize the best interests of the individual child. So how must an SIR be prepared? Let's consider the carer model. Here carer stands for C for collect available information, A for ascertain the child's views, R for record the family environment, relationships, socioeconomic profile and vulnerabilities, E for examine and analyze, R for recommend concrete interventions. Let's apply this framework in Geetha's case. C is for collect available information based on a meeting with the concerned caseworker, child welfare officer, probation officer, and ask for permission to read the child's file after showing the CWC's order directing you to prepare the SIR. A is for ascertain child's views. Every child has the right to be heard in matters affecting their life. As Geetha is in a CCI, if possible, spend time with her before her home visit. Confirm with the caseworker or superintendent that Geetha will be available and is not required to visit the hospital or court. Introduce yourself to Geetha and explain your role and the purpose of the SIR. Provide Geetha information she needs and explain the possible outcomes of the CWC process. Clarify that the information she shares will be used to prepare the SIR, which will be submitted to the CWC. Take time to build rapport and trust with Geetha. Understand Geetha as a person, as well as her circumstances, needs, strengths, and interests. Make eye contact and listen deeply. Be mindful that children in the child protection system may have faced difficult situations at home or with authorities and may struggle to trust adults. Speak in a gentle tone of voice in a language she understands and feels comfortable to express herself freely in. Where needed, take the assistance of an interpreter. Record important phrases, sentences used by Geetha, which may help the CWC better understand her views and emotions. Meet or call Geetha once again after the home visit so as to fill in gaps and cross-check information before preparing your analysis and finalizing the report. Discuss your recommendations with Geetha and record her wishes and views. The R in carer is for record the family environment, relationships, socioeconomic profile, and vulnerabilities by visiting Geetha's parents' residence, her school, and perhaps even her marital home if the CWC has directed you to do so. Identify the significant people in her life. Check their availability in advance while considering the nature of the case. However, be mindful that in certain cases, informing in advance may lead to non-cooperation. Introduce yourself politely while showing them your identity card and the order of the CWC if asked. Explain briefly what the child protection system is, the role of the CWC, highlighting that this has nothing to do with any criminal investigation but is purely focused on the care and protection of the child. Then explain the purpose of the SIR. Observe the family's relationships, living condition, and social environment, and whether the family is under financial or social pressure. Try to understand the circumstances surrounding Geetha's marriage, as well as any other form of neglect, abuse, or exploitation. If directed by the CWC to visit Geetha's marital home, assess the quality of the child's relationship with her husband and his family, and understand the nature of neglect, abuse, or exploitation she may have faced in the marital home. Speak to the neighbors, extended family, Geetha's friends, and other trusted people in her life. Visit Geetha's school to gather information on her academics, extracurricular interests, and relationship with her teachers and classmates. Collect copies or take pictures of supporting documentation where necessary, such as school records, birth certificate, and health records. Consult an expert if needed and include their opinion. For example, a lawyer could be consulted about Geetha's options to annul her marriage, a doctor for clarity on safety and timing of potential termination of pregnancy, or a mental health professional who has worked with her. E in the carer is E for examine and analyze. An important part of the SIR is for you to keep your eyes and ears open and document keen observations. For example, your observation that Geetha's grandmother was against her marriage and is willing and capable of looking after her and supporting her to continue her education in a safe environment could enable the CWC to consider her as a fit person and release Geetha in her care. Study all the information you have collected and identify gaps. Separate facts from your observations and opinions while writing the analysis of factors. A fact is a statement that can be verified as true through objective evidence. An observation is the act of noticing or perceiving something. An opinion is a personal belief or judgment that cannot be definitively proven true or false, often based on one's feelings or interpretations. For example, an observation would be Geetha's face lit up with excitement when she was told that she could get support from the government to continue her education, even though she had been forcibly married. Your opinion may be that Geetha is a diligent student as she seems intelligent. Relevant facts would be her good attendance records and the high grades she has achieved. Triangulate information you have from different sources such as the child, family members, teachers, social workers, or case files for a comprehensive and accurate understanding. R in carer stands for recommend concrete interventions required to meet Geetha's individual needs, rights, and best interest. This is extremely critical. Geetha may have expressed her wish to get out of the marriage and be placed with her grandmother so that she could continue her studies. Recommendations can include restoration to her grandmother after conducting an inquiry as to whether she is a fit person, counseling, sponsorship to continue education, assignment of a support person, free legal aid to annul her marriage, etc. Geetha's views about her pregnancy must also be recorded, and the recommendation could be that a doctor or other expert gives necessary information to her about her options, including termination of her pregnancy under the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. The recommendations could also include providing mental health support if she has mental health concerns such as disturbed sleep, self-harm, or suicidal thoughts, etc. Suggestions must include enabling access to specific government schemes you have identified as applicable in her case. Provide recommendations based on your overall observations, analysis, and assessment of her best interests. Finally, remember, the SIR does not require anyone else's signature except yours. In fact, asking a neighbor or family to sign might make them reluctant to speak to you. Instead, take a photo of yourself with the family members during the home visit. Before we conclude, here's a snapshot of the features of a good SIR. A good SIR is one that keeps the child and the child's needs and interests at the center, records and considers the child's views, provides a comprehensive picture of the child, the family, their circumstances, identifies risks and available resources in the child's environment, provides opinions of experts consulted, your observations and in-depth analysis, provides concrete recommendations related to the care, protection, treatment, development, rehabilitation and social reintegration of the child for consideration to the CWC. Now imagine you are Geetha and you're reading the final SIR ready to be submitted to the CWC. Do you feel your situation and views were accurately captured? While some recommendations may differ, did you feel heard and that you have had the support you needed to express yourself fully without fear about all relevant matters concerning your life in these particular circumstances? Were your doubts clarified and did you get a clear understanding about the CWC and its role, about legal matters and possible orders that the CWC may pass? Did you feel comfortable with the person who prepared the SIR and are confident that this person has kept your individual basic needs, rights and interests as the primary consideration while making the recommendations? If the answer to all these questions is a nice big yes, well, that is indeed a job well done.